Welcome back, my friends, to the Moto Guzzi show that never ends. Today we're looking at seats again. If you remember my previous video where we talked about seats and the benefits of having them heated or not, well, I thought I'd show you. I have actually made some progress. I'm not just all hot air. Anyways, yeah. So we had a XS650 seat that we were discussing. Shortening and giving it a try. So here we go. Let's see what we've done. So I cut the seat off back here, cut the pan off, and I made some brackets to put it on the Guzzi. I've sat on it and it feels quite good. It's a little higher. It's probably 1.5 inches higher than standard. That's no bad thing because the Guzzi is a low bike and you naturally sit low. Now, with my old and creaky body, I much prefer conventional bikes and adventure bikes. I can't ride a cruiser, for instance, because the feet forward and the weight on my spine just crucifies me. So yeah, I was looking for this kind of thing, and as I'm making the seat, I'll make it to fit me, and it's just a single seat. No intention of carrying a passenger on this bike. I've got other bikes if I want to take pillion with me. It's not a high-powered bike. It's more of a relaxed cruising type of bike. And at the back, I can put a big carrier on. I can carry all the camping gear and luggage that I want and just go for days and days on end, wherever I want to go. Anyways, so this is it. This is what it looks like. And let me show you what I did. First of all, the vinyl is just stuck on there. Obviously, it's going to need some trimming at the back. Sort the back out, but I trimmed it along here. I cut quite a bit off here, off the base, to make it look slimmer, a bit more like the original police style seat, although this wasn't a police bike, it was a civilian bike. Let's take this off and you'll get a slightly better idea of what I've been up to. Oops, try not to wreck everything. It's all just perched there at the moment. Right, so there we go. So that's the cushion. And like I say, I've sat on it and it feels very nice. I just built the back up a little there. I just glued a piece on because it was low and then it went high. So I've cut a piece off the spare, glued him on, trimmed it expertly, not really, trimmed it anyways with a razor knife. Let me show you how it fits. Oh, let me show you the pan first. So anyway, there's the pan. And yeah, it's just a Yamaha pan. I left the front as it was, and I cut the back off right there. It's slightly narrower in places than the Guzzi, so this is where the mounting is at the rear. It's rubber mounted here. You can see I've put rubber on here, rubber pucks. I've got 2 on at the moment. 1 would probably be enough, but I put 2 on, and then if I want to, I can add more pucks to raise the seat up. And on the underneath, let me go over to the bench, I'll show you. Okay, underneath. So what we did here was I made this with a piece of flat bar and then 2 little pieces of flat bar underneath to raise it up to about this height so that it would fit over the frame rails. So it's 1.25 inches higher here. No, 1.5 inches here, 1.25 inches higher at the back. That's just to level the seat off. These have got captive nuts in them. Captive nuts on the other side. It's hard to work through the camera. So when I want to take it on and off the bike, it's real easy. There's a captive nut under there. Piece of cake. I'm going to mess around and try and hold spanners under that. No, none of that bullshit. So that's how the back is held on, and don't forget she's on rubber pucks here anyway. Now the front, I incorporated the Yamaha front seat bracket, which ordinarily had forks on like that, which went into a bracket on the bike or the tank. I'm not quite sure which, but anyway. So I did away with the fork part, and I welded these long bolts on. And also what I did was I put a die on them, and I ran a thread a lot long, all the way down to here. The reason I use this Yamaha bracket is because it's rubber mounted. I thought it'd be handy to have rubber mounted. I had thought about putting a strengthening web in here, which we'll see how it goes. It might be all right. Anyway, instead of using the frame mounting like the ordinary seat would, like the original seat would rather, I decided to mount it to the frame spine to here. This here. Ordinarily the seat rack would be down here, but I've mounted it and it hits about there. Okay, so to do that I made two U-clamps. Of course, things never work properly when you've got an audience, do they? Anyway, so that goes on there, and then there's a lock nut will go either side. A washer and a lock nut will go either side, and that will clamp it to the frame tube. But not only that, because it's threaded so far, it means that this front seat mounting is adjustable, and I can raise or lower the seat here as well as at the back by putting additional pucks in here. So I can raise the front, I can raise the back to suit myself, to suit my riding position, and I'll put a piece of inner tube rubber or something in here to insulate it from the frame, or just to stop it from scratching the frame. Yeah, there we go. That's it. That is my seat modification. Doesn't look much, and it took a fair old while. So let's just pop her back on. Very roughly, we'll just put it somewhere in there. I think it's about there. Yeah. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't use the other seat pan, the other seat pan had already been cut. The back had been cut off, and the front had been cut off because it was being considered to go on a cafe racer at the time. So my son has reminded me he was building a cafe racer. Unfortunately, it was with a Yamaha XS650 Special, and they weren't really suitable for a cafe racer. Anyway, long story. He went with a fiberglass seat, so this seat wasn't used for anything. So yeah, there we go. I think it looks quite tidy. I think it looks reasonable. You know, I've been doing something with my so-called spare time. So yeah, I think it'll work. I think I'm not just a pretty face. Although there are people who will dispute that. So until next time, it's goodbye from him. It's goodbye from the Guzzi dog, but she got bored and went to sleep somewhere. So until then, rubber side down, shiny side up, keep them Guzzi wheels turning. Bye-bye.